Started at 6 o'clock. Ms. Murdoch, would you call the roll?
Mr. Rossi?
Here.
Mr. Sousa?
Here. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, very good. I would like to make a motion to approve of the clerk's journal and accept the audio video recordings as the official minutes of the August 6th Board of Trustees regular meeting.
Second.
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to accept the bills as presented before the board.
Second.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
All right. First item on the agenda, we have a guest speaker, a hazard mitigation plan presented by Warren County Emergency Management Agency.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Sydney Renner. I am with the Warren County Emergency Management Agency. Just quickly wanted to talk about the 2025 Warren County Hazard Mitigation Plan that was done this year. It is a federally required plan, and it requires us to go through an update every 5 years. And the update is quite extensive. It requires all of our stakeholders getting involved, talking about the hazards that impact our county specifically, as well as the impacts that we face from those hazards, and how do we mitigate those? How do we prevent them or reduce the impacts that could occur? As a part of the plan, it is required of us to go out to our jurisdictions and ask you to adopt this plan. When you adopt this plan, it does open you up and make you eligible for certain types of funding, should you need it, including disaster relief assistance, as well as mitigation grants as they become available. So we are just here to answer any questions, if you have any. If not, to please adopt the plan is yours.
Mark?
I have no specific questions. The document is expansive and quite informative, so kudos. I thought it was, covers literally anything and everything you can think of from a hazard or risk mitigation standpoint, and a lot of just good general information, so thank you.
I know we had some flooding in the township back in July, and there was a business that was affected by it. I'm not sure if I recommended they reach out to you. I don't know if they did that.
Yes, they did.
Or
Yep,
not.
we
Okay.
worked with them.
Good.
Was able to help clear up some issues and address any of the needs that they had. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Jeff, do you have anything?
No, appreciate their work on it, and I'm really proud to say every one of our departments either participated in surveys or 3 of the open houses and public sessions they have. This was a real participatory process. Our police, fire, and public works all were able to comment and hopefully add some value to it.
Good. Chief, you got anything?
EMA rocks.
Okay. Chief? Same thing? And Don? All right. All right. Well, very good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Sydney.
Okay, that brings us to our first public comment section. I'd like to open the floor to public comments at this time. And as a reminder, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. I'm Paul Sisk, 1649 Laurel Glen Court, Hamilton Township. Delighted to be before you. Thank you. I'll try to be brief. Congratulations. I noticed that the last time I was here, somebody put a dampener on the restroom door for the men. It doesn't go whack every time you close it. So, big one, big one. Thanks. Earlier this year, the Ohio legislature introduced resolutions to request an Article 5 Convention of States to propose amendments to the United States Constitution for 3 different areas: term limits on Congress and federal officials, fiscal responsibility, think balanced budget amendment, and limiting the power and jurisdiction of the federal government. You will recall that the framers of the Constitution included this provision under Article 5 so that if changes needed to be made to the Constitution, there would be a way for it to happen beyond Congress. Well, clearly Congress is not too excited about changing things like term limits or balanced budgets, so it is up to the states, and that's why we have this opportunity with Article 5 of the Constitution. For the last 40, 50 years, the American people have been polled about a balanced budget amendment. Over 75% are in favor of balancing the budget. The U.S. seems to be the only ones that don't do it. All the states have to do it. Why not the federal government?
So do we.
Yeah, and so do we, yes. Yet Congress refuses these amendments. So it's clear now that the only way for us to move forward is to call an Article 5 Convention of States and put forward these amendments. Another consideration is we're $37 trillion in debt. I don't see an end to it the way that it's going. Change is long overdue. So I'm happy to tell you that the legislation for doing this in the Ohio Senate is now under SJR 3 and in the House under HJR 3. And we're excited because we think that there is some great momentum. The President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House are proponents and in favor of the Article 5. And yet there are some legislators who are uncommitted. One of those is ours. We had a change, as you know, and Representative Michelle Teska is the representative for the District 55. So back in 2023, you were gracious to welcome us here, and we talked about this, and you put together a resolution and sent it forward, and I have a copy to share with you of your own resolution, and thank you for passing that. That was signed in March of 2024. So tonight, that's that little band of folks back there, we come to invite you to do one additional thing. We would like for you to consider inviting Representative Teska for a face-to-face meeting to discuss topics of interest. I'm sure you have plenty of those. But we would also like to invite you to raise the issue of HJR 2 and invite her to support this legislation for which you've already passed a resolution. Now, as you know, I wanted you to know by now that I'm a resident of Hamilton Township, so that also makes me a constituent in District 55 of Representative Teska. I had a good communication relationship with Representative Lips before the change took place, and I had hoped that that would continue. I have made multiple attempts to reach out to our new representative, but all those attempts have gone unanswered. And I'm curious if you, as others, have had the same unfortunate experience. I think it's possible that Representative Teska may have heard some fear-mongering claims, things like, well, you know, with the idea that states cannot be entrusted with responsibility to hold a meeting and propose amendments to the Constitution. Well, I think if you meet with her and she expresses this concern, then I have a response I'd like to share with you. House Bill 607, legislation. The sponsors of this legislation have introduced additional legislation that defines the role of those representatives that would go to a national convention of states. These controls that are in place by this legislation prevent a, quote, runaway convention, and in fact impose penalties, even criminal penalties, if these representatives that we send from Ohio do not go exactly according to the instructions that they're given from the state legislature. So a runaway convention that's not feasible. It's very well tightly controlled. I think now is the chance, if we want to have meaningful impact on whether or not this country gets closer to a balanced budget and limited terms, I think this is the critical opportunity. I'd like to share with you just a couple of pieces of information. So at the top piece is just a copy of the resolution passed by Hamilton Township, and then underneath that are the copies of the current legislation in the House and in the Senate. And this is an exciting time. We have a lot of momentum. 20 states have signed this, and we're looking at 21 and 22 coming up, we think, real soon. We want Ohio to be in that mix. We have a lot of confidence. One of the issues, though, is that when the year changes, we seem like we have to start over again. So we're trying to move on this momentum. Thank you very much for your service and for your resolution. What questions can I answer?
Remind us, Paul, what size supermajority would it take at a convention to enact this and make it affect the change? Is it a 2/3 or 3/4?
It would be 34 states have to pass the resolution to call the convention. And then once the convention is called, anything that comes out of there has to have 3/4 or 38 states to ratify the Constitution. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
At the convention, it just takes a majority of states to approve an amendment so that it's officially proposed. And then it goes out to the state legislatures for ratification. 38 states would have to ratify in order for it to become part of the Constitution.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. And thank you for your service.
Appreciate the update.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you. Thank you. All right, anyone else for public comments? Okay, with that, I will close the floor to public comments. We'll move on to new business. Looks like we have 3 resolutions and a couple of motions. The first one is concerning declaring a property a public nuisance. Jeff, you want to run down quickly the procedure for declaring a property a nuisance?
Yeah, appreciate it. There's a few months of required steps that the state prescribes townships take, and that's to try to balance between a community standards such as mowing your lawn, upkeep of your home and property, and it not being an eyesore detracting from neighborhood, balance that with property owner rights. And so if it ever seems like it takes longer than what a complainant would wish to get to this phase, that is why. So, for example, we have to send one notice out to the property owner saying, we've reviewed your property, it doesn't meet our property maintenance standards. We list the items they need to correct to come into compliance, and we have to give them so many days. Then we have to send out a second notice, so we re-inspect the property, see if they have any or all of those completed. If not, we're required to send a second notice. We have to give so many days. So I always appreciate the patience that the neighbors take, because we do have to exhaust those steps. I know it'd be much easier if we could just have it done immediately. So we have exhausted those steps. In this case, we agree that the property clearly is in violation of public standards. And so this resolution tonight that you gentlemen, if you pass this will be the final step. So then we can go through and we could contract and have the property brought into compliance, and then if necessary, attach any expenses we incur onto the property taxes so that we are made whole and we are reimbursed for using property taxes.
Very good. Mark, you have any questions?
I'll put Chief on the spot impromptu. It's kind of odd for us to see a hole in this condition in the high-density newer subdivision. I mean, just any interaction with law enforcement at this property? Do we know if it's vacant or if it's just lived in and being just neglected?
I'll have to get back to you.
Okay.
I can run the address.
But it's not a known property or anything
Not
that
to
you're having?
my knowledge,
Okay.
it's not, no.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's all good. I just can't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
The end of a cul-de-sac, my son lives across the street. I just saw it the other day.
Yeah.
And if it is being lived in, I think it's a rental.
Yeah, it was privately owned. It's not owned by like a corporation or anything, but I mean, it makes sense. All right.
All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 25-0820A, providing for and authorizing the removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris at 1076 Oak Forest Drive, parcel 17303544029, in Hamilton Township, declaring a nuisance and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Mr. Rozzi?
Yes. Okay, next is just private sale of unneeded and unfit for use property. Any questions, Mark?
Light stretch at the impound lot. Just one vehicle on this month or this meeting's resolution.
We'll make it up to you next month.
All right.
Okay. All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 25-0820B, a resolution authorizing private sale of unneeded and unfit for use property in the police department.
Second?
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Mr. Razzi?
Yes. All right, our final resolution is adopting the hazard mitigation 5-year plan update. Any questions, Mark?
No.
Everything was answered for us. All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 25-0820C, a resolution adopting the Warren County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation 5-year plan update.
Second?
Mr. Razzi?
Yes.
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, next we have an amendment to the township roster. With that, any questions, Mark?
No.
All right, with that, I'll make a motion to approve the amendment of the Hamilton Township roster as presented.
Second?
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Mr. Razzi?
Yes. And then these other two are two separate motions?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, any questions? This is amendment to the personnel policy.
These are just, look like a couple simple updates, one to comply with the federal calendar versus a normal calendar year, and the other one just to satisfy our insurer as it basically some fleet maintenance and annual inspections.
Yeah, that's right. It's some best management practices to make sure that we manage our risk.
Perfect. Good, thank you.
All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve a revision to the Township Personnel Policy Manual, Section 6.07, military leave as presented, effective on 8/20/2025.
Second?
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Mr. Razzi?
Yes. And next is a motion to approve a revision to the Township Personnel Policy Manual, Section 7.02, use of vehicles as presented, effective 8/20/2025.
Second?
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.
Mr. Razzi?
Yes. Okay, that's it for new business. That brings us to our second public comment section.
My name is Rusty Holman, 8031 Whalen Lane, Mainville. Last week, or 2 weeks ago when we met, we went through 3 separate public hearings on 3 different pieces of property. A couple of those were licenses or agreements that the trustees had made back in 1997. Okay, to allow something to take place in 1997. I'm wondering how many more surprises we have waiting in the wings that we are unaware of, and whether or not it's worthwhile compiling a list of those properties so that we know what's coming down the road and we have a chance to look at it before it becomes a public hearing, to see if there's anything that can be done or should be done to mitigate those agreements that were made way back when. Okay? I know that there's probably a lot of work involved for the zoning people or Jeff, for your group, but I think it's worthwhile to do that and to elevate that list so
Yeah,
that
I
we
think
can.
It's not a bad idea to look and see, okay, what are we going to expect out of this? I mean, I had an idea that parcel was a planned unit development at the
Well,
time, but not the detail of all of it, but.
No, but when you see a block of land, you can expect that something's coming down the road. But
Well, sure.
what we don't know
Sure.
is who the developer is and what and why.
Well, we knew who the owner was. Hey, we knew the owner's been, I'll tell you this. Back before the subdivision went in across 22, there where Alexander Point is, 40 years ago, I'm friends with the Gallensteins. When we were in high school, we used to ride four-wheelers on that property. So they've owned it at least that long, and I think a lot longer than that. And as long as I've lived here, I've seen the for sale sign 30 years on both of those parcels.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think it isn't a bad idea to look and see, especially for you, Jeff, since you're fairly new here, to see if there is something else coming down that we just need to be mentally prepared for.
Okay.
Not that we can stop it or change it.
Yeah, a
But-
point of information, I go home and talked to my dear sweet wife, and I mentioned institutional housing. And the fur comes up on the back of her neck, and she says, what in the is institutional housing? And, okay, that's the kind of surprise that prompted
Sure.
this.
No, I get it.
We learned of this, the apartment part of the PUD, I want to say maybe in June, when the notices went out that it was
Pretty
moving
recent.
forward. And Jeff and I had a similar conversation about looking through our, fortunately, it's a small number of it, I would say our more substantial parcels and areas for commercial development, to your point, to see what else is out there. One thing we did talk about, and probably need to follow up with Ben or Brody, is if we had a future PUD, could we put some sort of sunset provision in a date in? Hey, we're going to approve this, but if
Okay.
you've not moved forward in 3 years or 5 years or something,
Sure.
it reverts. Yeah, because I all surprised. I mean, people justified, came to the meeting and, but it was ironic. One lady came opposing the growth, but her subdivision is the one Joe's talking about that was approved by the same PUD in 1997. And, we're bound by, unless the property owner wanted to come forward and change it at this point, which I guess is possible, but pretty unlikely. To your point, yeah, I think we're all pretty surprised. They were like, hey, you're getting a couple hundred apartments that were approved nearly 30. It's going to be 30 years from when the PUD was approved, that when they're probably occupied.
Okay.
But good point.
made.
Yeah.
The irony in all of this is you have current newer residents that are concerned heavily about growth. And I wonder what the longtime residents thought of all this growth when we moved here.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
Fair points, Rusty.
anyone else for public comments? All right. With that, I will turn it over to Ms. Elliott.
Okay. Sorry for missing the last meeting. We were out of town, but we are going to go through the July numbers tonight. And up on the screen, hopefully it's not too small, it's the same format you're used to seeing where every fund is broken down into the different subcategories. The one change you'll see with the July numbers is the addition of a new fund for our Public Works facility. And right now we're showing the revenue year-to-date in that column at 5.2 million, and that's our cash balance in that fund as well. And what you'll see in the coming months as this plan moves forward is you'll see some expenditures start to flow through this fund as the building's constructed, and then you'll also see some of the other funds in the Public Works Department that will also be utilized for some of the early spending. So you'll definitely see some movements in these numbers as the year progresses. And what this new large dollar amount did is it kind of skewed the percent of revenue collected. Just arbitrarily, it came in at 89%. So just to compare apples to apples with what we've been doing all year, I backed out that new addition because it was not budgeted for. And it brings us back down to where we should be at 57.4%. Gosh, I know that's really small, sorry. And then our expenditures are running at 53%. So if you compare both of those to where we are in the year at 58%, we're still in line, excluding, the addition of the Public Works. So I'll try to make that bigger. I'm just not sure how much I can do on that screen, but I apologize if you can't see it very clearly.
Any questions, Warren?
I do not. I would inform Leah, Jeff and I had worked, Jeff got would you forward her the TIF presentation? But Jeff's received an updated, Matt Nolan's office has valued the Kroger property.
Okay.
So to go from a substantially higher than the initial projected value. But so Jeff has an updated presentation of the
okay.
TIF and the properties in the TIF and its debt service and the revenues they generate and long-term projections and things like that. You would want to have it and check it out.
Okay.
And Jeff and I spoke about it today. We both had some questions on some of the data and what it means and how it can be interpreted. And I think he's going to get some
When did that come out? When was that?
I think he just got it
Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But
Yeah.
Interesting document for us finance folks.
Okay.
Very good. Mr. Wright, do you have anything for us this evening?
Yeah, a few updates for the board and for our residents. We'll start with a couple of upcoming county projects that will affect two of our roads. First one is going to be a road closure of Nunner Road. A couple of months ago, there was a large water main break on Nunner Road close to its intersection with State Route 48. And we've discussed that their patch of it was not acceptable, so they have programmed that they're going to have their contractor come out on Wednesday, August 28th. Probably will be mid-morning, so we've asked them to wait until the morning commute and school bus traffic is through. So sometime after 9 a.m., I would expect on Wednesday, August 28th, Nunner will be shut down for a few hours so that they can mill and pave and appropriately fix all the dips that still exist on the road. Again, that's work being done by the Warren County Water and Sewer Department. Even though Nunner Road is a Hamilton Township road, that water main break is the responsibility of that county department. We'll continue to post any updates, and that's weather permitting. And a phone number if any resident ever wants to give a call to the Warren County Water and Sewer Department for a question for them, it's 513-695-1377. And another county project that's going to occur, this is going to be much lengthier. Even though Stevens Road is a Hamilton Township road, in Ohio, all bridge inspections and maintenance are the responsibility of the county engineer's office. And there is a very old bridge on Stevens Road, approximately in the middle of it. That bridge, this is good news, that public infrastructure that's maybe 100 years old is being replaced, but we know it's going to be a temporary headache for our residents. The county engineer's office has awarded to a private construction firm, JTM Smith Construction. They're going to have about a 12-week road closure of Stevens for that replacement. That's going to occur in between Hardest Drive and Village Green Parkway. And so if weather is cooperative, it's going to be 3 months or so. So there will be a detour that the county has posted. If we receive any new information or updates, we'll share that. But again, it's 12-week process, and that's going to be starting in mid-September. So it's a little less than a month away. And any updates we receive from the Warren County Engineer's Office, because it's their project, we'll put those updates on social media.
So, silly question, why would you start a project like that in fall, going into winter?
Yeah, they're going to be bumping up against when the pavement plants, the asphalt plants close. My hope is that they have that part done. I hope that that's a worst case scenario, those 12 weeks. I'm not sure is my honest answer.
Okay.
Would assume availability or job scheduling of the contractor that's doing it would be the only thing, to your point.
You gotta
Why
change
take the risk of getting into bad weather and cold weather to do that?
We're losing the asphalt plant, and now we're shut down for 2 more months.
Yeah, September 15th is their start date, so that's going to be really close to get that done.
Unless Don, any additional info or thought on it?
There is like a couple of blacktop plants that stay open during the winter. Each Barrett and Jurgensen both keep a plant open all year.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Moving on to the township recreation updates, Nicole Early has reminded me that we have a Mounts Park stream restoration project this Friday with one of our consulting engineers. We're going to discuss the timeline for the bid and award of that construction project. And we are still waiting on permits from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers office, but I don't think that will hold us up. I think the strategy will be that we can, while waiting on that permit from the Corps, we can go ahead and advertise and review bids. Also, registration is now open for the Veterans Fish and Float. That's going to take place on Friday, September 12th at Mounts Park. That's an event that we do in cooperation with the Warren County Soil and Water and Warren County Water Striders, ODNR, Casting Freedom, Veteran Services, and something called the Onion Bag Project. And that gives opportunities Please don't ask me what the onion bag project is. I can read it on your faces. This is an opportunity for up to 50 of our veterans and their significant others to reserve their space for that, and any active service members, not just for veterans. It's a free event. It includes lunch, all of their fishing gear, and the veterans each get to walk away with a free rod and reel, fishing license process, and some special shirts. And they can check out the Hampton Township website for more information. And I hope I'm not stepping on toes. One of you gentlemen might mention this coming Friday is our movie in the park. Remember, we had to reschedule that when we had a major rain event. So that's going to be this Friday, August 22nd at Tesserman Park. Games are going to start at 7 p.m. Movie Little Giants, the football movie, is going to be on the big screen at 8:30. We're going to have Krimmer's Pizza with a cash-only operation, and our concession stand will be available for other treats for purchase. And we want to thank Regal Cinemas here in Warren County for the free popcorn that they're going to be distributing at showtime. Moving on to our police department, Amy Sheeler, who is our longtime police records clerk, was recently awarded with recognition from the Defense Counterintelligence Agency. That's a national level recognition. And they wanted to recognize she's the most efficient in her task nationally for work on performing background checks for persons that are applying for federal jobs. And I appreciate the superlative customer service she gives. And that's a reminder that starting this week, she had some equipment installed today and tomorrow, and we're going to be doing additional background checks. Customer service for any of our residents who are going to volunteer as maybe sports coaches or volunteer in the Kingsville Little Miami school districts. And she will be performing that work locally, so our residents don't have to go to the county seat any longer. So it's just indicative of the humble but excellent customer service she gives to everybody. Also, the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services recently completed a mock accreditation here of our police department's records, training curriculum, use of force, professional standards, property and evidence room management, and our general law enforcement operations. And the very positive feedback they gave during the initial assessment is that when the full accreditation is completed later this year, we expect that the Hampton Township Police Department is going to be one of the first 25 agencies in the state to complete that new process. And Chief Jewett reminded me that the fire department's getting closer to receiving some of our replacement emergency vehicles that have been in construction process for a long time. First will be a pumper truck arriving next month, and the ladder truck is going soon through all of its upfittings. And then finally, the re-chassis we're doing with the ambulance should be coming sometime in December, January, hopefully even earlier. So that'll finally allow those vehicles to be in service and will reduce our maintenance expenses. Thank you.
Very good. All right, that brings us to trustee comments. Mr. Souza.
Don't have much, but just Labor Day will come and go before our next meeting, so wish everybody a happy and safe Labor Day long weekend celebration. Hopefully we have great weather.
All right. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the Cardboard Boat Regatta, which looked like one of the largest crowds I've seen. So it looked like a successful event. I just want to thank all of our staff that assisted, those that volunteered, those that participated. Didn't get to stick around to see who won. Who won?
You did.
Well, I did see that, and I was like, ooh, boy.
Our Public Works Department cleaned house again. I don't know that they won all the trophies again, but yeah, they took
Maybe you
home
guys
2
ought to get together and build a boat to beat them. They got an unfair advantage.
I'm gonna stay off the record.
But again, I just want to thank everyone who came out and attended.
Jim and Kathy as well.
And Richard and Kathy Oder for the graciously hosting that event as they do every year. All right, with that, I will make a motion to adjourn at 6:34 p.m.
Second.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Sousa?
Yes.